The 13th chapter of the apocalyptic book of John the Revelator presents a graphic portrayal of two megalomaniac beasts, powers that rule at some time during the history of planet Earth, whose ability to influence and dictate extend to the furthest corners of the globe. It is revealed through biblical evidence that these powers receive their authority from the dragon, which according to the scriptures is Satan. It is further revealed through the symbolic language contained in this chapter that a cosmic battle of gigantic proportions between good and evil is finding its tangible fulfillment in the physical activities of human affairs, the visible symptoms of a massive spiritual controversy. The Bible describes a deliberate cooperation between the powers of the spiritual and physical realms, a cooperation between the highest levels of human operation and authorities of sinister spiritual dimensions that span almost the entire history of humanity. As hard as this may be for many to accept, there is little doubt that in order for such an all-encompassing effort to find its decreed fulfillment, a conspiracy of unimagined proportions needed to be conceived. Indeed, only as we embark on an in-depth exploration of history will we be able to reveal the specific identity of the powers, human and otherwise, that are hidden in the cryptic descriptions of prophetic symbolism. In light of these considerations and current events, what you are about to witness could very well be one of the most significant and timely exposés of recent times. Our journey begins in the context of a perfect society that existed eons ago, a society whose laws of coexistence were based on the perfect principles of love for their fellow beings and love for God who created them. In this perfect society, where God gave every being the freedom to choose whether they would remain loyal to Him and His government or not, Lucifer, an angel of supreme authority and power, began to question the fairness of the government of God and aspired to put himself in the place of God. The war that followed this rebellion against the laws of God, resulting in the expulsion of Lucifer from heaven, along with a third of the angels that chose to side with him, ultimately shifted the focus of the battle to the human inhabitants of a newly created planet called Earth. Lucifer's strategy of destruction and revenge was comprehensive and multifaceted in its dimensions. But at the core of his plan was the desire to usurp the worship that belonged to God alone and direct it toward himself. From the very first insinuations presented to Eve at the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, and consequently through succeeding ages, Lucifer has attempted to set up a counterfeit system of law and religious worship, very often in the process blending aspects of his own false system with characteristics of the true. This fallen angel, who now carried the dubious title of Satan, the Prince of Darkness, began to channel his ideas through human agents that not only communicated his deceptions, but became actively involved in establishing his cause in the real world. Direct links from present-day manifestations of his plan can be traced back to the post-antediluvian world and the Genesis account of the building of the Tower of Babel and the occult belief system that inspired its construction. Connected to this was the desire to establish a so-called perfect society based on satanically inspired ideals that would supposedly help man to escape the wrath of God should he ever decide to destroy the world again. Man's quest to control his own destiny and to worship a God that would give him freedom to define his own values and moral parameters was the central desire in his pursuit to bring all other humanity under his control and establish a new global order. Those throughout history who sought to implement this plan would stop at nothing, be it through deception or brute force, to realize their dream. A dream to rebuild the mythical city of Atlantis, described by Plato 2,500 years ago and believed by many to have existed in the antediluvian world. And along with this, to re-establish the principles that guided that society. The question will no doubt be asked: who, what, and if anything, is involved in the pursuit of this apparently far-fetched occult agenda today? If such a mystical concept as a perfect Atlantean society is in fact believed in and being implemented, then who are the players and what powers, human or otherwise, might these players have at their disposal? Indeed, can history, the Bible, and the unfolding of present-day events really confirm the veracity of such an agenda? There are those who believe that this is not only possible, but that there is overwhelming evidence to establish it as fact.